Hey, Ryan Dunleavy, Matt Lombardo, your Giants beat writers for NJ.com, NJ Advanced Media, after the Giants season finale. I mean, sorry, sorry. The season's over, but it's not the season finale. A 34-13
drubbing
loss.
Drubbing, I think, is the word you go with there. Eli Manning tonight, one of the more disappointing performances I've seen out of a quarterback in a very long time. Saquon Barkley was dominant and saved Eli Manning's stat line, simply couldn't do enough to win the game. And the one thing that jumped out at me, Ryan, on passes that were intended for wide receivers or tight ends, Eli Manning averaged 5.29 yards per attempt. That's just not good enough. You can't move an offense that way.
The thing that jumped out to me is the same thing that apparently jumped out to Troy Aikman on the Fox broadcast. Obviously, we didn't get to hear that, but from hearing fans, the defensive effort. I asked players, I asked Curtis Riley, Alec Ogletree, Landon Collins, Olivier Vernon. No one wants to question the effort. It's all about execution. But your eyes don't lie. It was effort. There were a couple plays where it looked like the Giants didn't want to tackle. Look, it feels like last year, and they don't want to talk about last year. They want to say it doesn't feel like last year. Again, maybe it doesn't feel like that to them because there's a different group of guys, but if you're just looking at a blue and white uniform, it looks a lot like last year.
Yeah, 1-5 in a game where you look at this division right now.
1-5.
Correct. You look at the division right now, and they're still not mathematically eliminated, but it feels inevitable that that's going to happen in the very near future. Ryan, one other thing that really jumped out at me was Odell Beckham Jr. tonight. A non-factor on the stat sheet. You saw him go into the locker room for an IV right before halftime. You saw him headbutt a cooling fan on the sideline.
It's amazing that we have to say cooling fan.
I can't just say fan.
Yeah, because he might have headbutted an actual person.
Correct.
No, he did not. He
didn't give himself CTE that we know of, but just the meltdown that we saw from Odell Beckham Jr. tonight, and him and Saquon Barkley, really close, great friends. He tried to celebrate with him last week down in Carolina when Barkley scored a touchdown. Tonight, kind of ignored him, and there's an image floating around of Saquon kind of like giving him a hug on the sideline, trying to get his head in the game. For all of the comments this week about Odell Beckham Jr.'s interview being a quote-unquote leadership moment, I think we're starting to see.
You don't find leadership moments. The Giants, according to Jay Glazer, find Odell Beckham. Yes. You do not find someone for being a leader. Can we rule that out?
Correct. I think we saw tonight that the Giants' leader is not Odell Beckham Jr. It's Saquon Barkley. And I think we're starting to see that really blossom. That's one of the bright spots for this team in this game. But other than that, Ryan, you look at a defense giving up 34 points. You look at a quarterback not even trying to stretch the field, forcing the ball into coverage on the second play of the game, gets picked off. 2 plays later, the Eagles score. The game was over right there. I don't think the Giants were ever in it after that. To me, this was rock bottom 6 weeks into a season.
And there's room to go. For me, here's what I thought. Pat Shurmur after the game, no concern about Eli Manning, no concern about the effort. And somebody said to me on the walk up here, well, what do you want him to say? Here's what I want him to say. We are going to reevaluate everything we do in the next 10 days before we play the Falcons. That's not saying Manning stinks, we have to bench him. That's not.
What's it say?
It
says that we need to reevaluate Manning.
It says we have to reevaluate everything we do. And if in 10 days we come back with the same plan, we reevaluate. But at least that's not robotic, droning, everything's fine. It's not playing the violin on the Titanic while it's, that's playing the violin. No, we have to read. That's what I wanted to hear. Didn't hear it.
Well, you can write it.
We have 10 more days. Maybe we'll hear it then. Till then, Ryan Dunleavy, Matt Lombardo, urging you to stick with us on NJ.com/Giants.